Imagine the day you die and you go to heaven, right? And you meet God for the first time, right? And while you're in heaven, he shows you this image of this life of a guy who, he was in great shape. He was in the best shape of his life. He achieved everything he wanted to. He was a man of greatness. He was remembered worldwide, and he was just one of the goats, right? He was just him. He showed you a guy who was that guy. Like, this guy was him. And you're like, wow, what an amazing guy. Like, you're mesmerized by this person that God shows you, right? And then God looks at you and says, this is who you were supposed to be, right? This is who you were supposed to be if you kept the promises that you made to yourself, right? You're breaking promises to yourself. And if you watch my channel, you know that I'm always talking about recreating yourself and why that's so important. And one of the key aspects of recreating yourself is keeping promises to yourself, right? You're only a couple promises away from a breakthrough. You're only a couple promises, a couple unbroken promises, a couple kept promises away from the results that you want, right? Whether it's, the promise you made to yourself on January 1st, that I'm gonna get in the best shape of my life, right? I don't know why you waited till January 1st. You could have just done that the moment you had that thought, right? Or it could be, the promise you kept to yourself to study that day. The promise you kept to yourself to start this new hobby or business venture, whatever the case may be. You have to keep these promises that you made to yourself, right? By the way, if you're looking to reach your fitness goals for the year of 2025 and onward, hit the link in the description. I'm the guy for that. I can help you with that. And I'll be happy to be working with you soon, and we'll see if it makes sense to work together. So hit the link in the description if you're looking to reach your fitness goals, and we'll make a custom plan so we can make that possible for you. So hit the link in the description. Little shameless plug there. But you got to stop breaking promises to yourself, because breaking promises to yourself, not only does it prevent you from becoming the man that you want to be, preventing you from recreating yourself, it also kind of ruins your own self-esteem, right? And that will even further you from becoming the man that you want to be, right? Because if you don't believe you can, then you won't actually go and do what you can, if that makes sense. You guys know what I'm trying to say. But from my personal experience too, like, I'm not the most perfect guy at this, right? Like, when it came to the gym and making promises to myself, like, I feel like I've mastered that area to an extent where I show up consistently, and I've built up that discipline, right? And now I'm at a point in my life where I've kind of mastered that first step, and now I'm at a point where I'm trying to translate those same lessons I learned in the gym to other areas of my life, right? Whether it comes to school, I have to stop breaking promises. If I'm going to say I'm going to study that day, then I will study that day. If I'm going to do this, do that. Like, it's about keeping the promises that you make to yourself, right? Because if you keep those promises, you'll have a better self-worth, because nobody knows you better than you, right? And if you're constantly breaking promises to yourself, you're saying to yourself, oh, I'm going to hit the gym today, and you don't hit the gym. I'm going to study today, and then you don't study, right? What are you telling yourself subconsciously? You're telling yourself that you're someone who's lazy. You're telling yourself that you don't really care. You're telling yourself that you're not serious. So then if you don't think you're serious, you're not going to perform like someone who's serious, right? And so that's something that I'm personally trying to work on myself, right? Like, just keeping promises to myself, right? Like, if I say I'm going to record a couple videos today, I almost broke this promise to myself today. I said I was going to record these videos today, right? But I was literally about to not record them. And then I realized, breaking promises to yourself, right? You got to foster that relationship that you have with yourself, right? Because if I would have broke that promise to myself today to not record these videos, that'll translate to the next thing. I'll be like, oh shit, then I'm not going to record the next batch, and then I'm not going to record the next batch, right? It's a snowball effect, because the more you break promises to yourself, the more promises you'll break in the future, and the farther that you will get from the man that you want to be, from the person that you're trying to become, right? Like I'm saying at the end of all my videos, there's nothing enlightening about playing small, right? Breaking promises to yourself is playing small, because if you kept those promises, right, you're playing big. You're doing what you said you were going to do, right? You got to be someone who keeps promises, right? Because there is nothing enlightening about playing small, right? You weren't put on this earth to play small. You have to become the man that God wanted you to be, right? It's about playing big, right? It's about playing ball, play the big leagues, right? And on this side, that's what we do. We play big. We don't play small. We want to be the best versions of ourselves. And if that interests you, hit that subscribe button, like it up, and hit that subscribe button, because on this side, we don't play small and we don't make excuses for why we're not where we want to be. We just do, right? We get shit done. We're doers. We're not victims. We're victors. We're lions. We're not sheep. That's what we do on this side, right? If that interests you, hit that subscribe button. You don't want to get to the end of your life and you go to heaven and God shows you who you could have been, right? Why don't you just be who God created you to be? Be the best version of yourself, right? Be the best version of yourself, because that's who God called you to be the best version of yourself. You were put on this planet to be the best version of yourself, constantly recreating yourself, making yourself better day in, day out, right? You don't want to get to the end of your life and look back and think, what could have been, what could I have been, right? And all of that stems to keeping the promises that you made to yourself, not breaking promises, right? Or at least diminishing the amount of promises that you're breaking to yourself, so that you can get closer to the man that you know you could be, the man you were called to be, right? And an actionable step, honestly, I found is like making a little calendar, right? Make a calendar, and shout out Brandon Carter talked about it on a podcast he did recently. Just making a calendar, right? And this is something that I've been doing a couple months now. I haven't been the most consistent with it, but I try to at least every week, at least 4 times a week, I'm making a calendar of things I need to do in terms of schoolwork, content, and all that type of stuff, right? And it helps to balance out my time. And even if you break the promises that you made on the calendar, right? It'll kind of, in a weird way, it'll make you feel stupid, because you're like, I'm literally breaking the promise, and it's on your, and it notifies you on your phone. If you do Google Calendar, it notifies you on your phone. You're supposed to be doing this right now while you're engaging in bullshit. Then you're like, oh, I feel like an idiot. Why don't I just do the thing, right? So it's a nice way to it's a nice way to help you hold yourself accountable, right? And so, yeah, actionable step is make a calendar, right? Especially if you're someone who's struggling to get in the gym and stay consistent with the gym, make a calendar, right? Because if you start to schedule out all these things throughout your day, right, it'll make it easier for you to fit your gym schedule in there, and you can make your schedule around your gym schedule. It's just easier to manage. And then say, for example, you actually do skip the gym or whatever, and you break the promise to yourself, that notification is gonna pop up on your phone. And while you're engaging in some other bullshit, you're gonna feel real stupid real fast. And then you're gonna be like, oh shit, why don't I just go to the gym? Right? I put it in my calendar for a reason, yet I'm here watching Netflix, scrolling, yada yada, and boop boop, notification, go to the gym. Okay, cool, I'll go, right? Over time, it's gonna start getting to you, right? Because it's gonna keep shouting out at you, and then you're gonna feel more compelled to follow through with the promise. That's what I found has helped me in my personal journey, right? But hopefully this all made sense. That's all I really have to say for today. It's not breaking promises to yourself, so that you can recreate yourself and become the best version of yourself. And make sure you book a one-on-one coaching call if you need help getting in the best shape of your life. I'm the guy for that. I can help you with that. Hit the link in the description and we'll come up with a custom plan that makes sense for you. I'm excited to working with you soon, bro. Hit that link in the description and send this to someone who needs to hear it, who's breaking promises to themselves left, right, center. And like, comment, subscribe, and remember, there's nothing enlightening about playing small. I'll catch you guys in the next video. See ya.